my appreciation to the Central University of Odisha Koraput and FIDR, the think tank, because they have converged to build the youth, prepare the youth nation building. That's the whole exercise all about. So we are using technology, we are using other resources to prepare our youth for nation building. And when we're talking about nation building, this can't be less historic a day today, because we have with us Shaluji. Shaluji is not only the chairperson of JSPL Foundation, but is also one among the few in this country who is trying to blend the life skills, soft skills with the hard skills. And she is working at the last mile, empowering women, because somebody had rightly said that
Charudatta ji, you're on mute. You have to unmute yourself.
So what I was trying to tell you is that, you know, this convergence between the efforts of Central University of Odisha Koraput and FIDR is aimed at nation building through youth empowerment, through youth focus. And today is a historic day because yesterday, not even 24 hours ago, our Honorable Prime Minister has declared that we are going to be self-reliant. Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. And on this day, historic day, we have with us Shaluji. Shaluji, who is not only the chairperson of JSPL Foundation, but is also aiming at development of women at a scale which is unprecedented in India through her foundation and also through her committed humanitarian work. And you would have already known by now that she is an icon. She is the face of the new age Indian woman. She is herself a Kuchipudi exponent. She is herself a humanitarian. She's doing so many things. But in one sentence, if I may be allowed to describe her and her pertinence to this program today, is that she brings in a blend of hard skills and soft skills, which is required for youth development and nation building. If India is looking at the next 10, next 15, next 30 years
computer
of
has virus.
not only having a GDP growth, but also having a quality of life growth.
Sorry, I'm late.
So we are having Shaluji today, and I thank her for her time. I thank her for her consent to be on this program.
Mr. Kaluji.
Barring the technical glitches, barring the starting the program late, we would like to have this time for the students, and I request the students to please be less noisy, and please give your focus to this discussion, because this is a rare opportunity when you are going to learn a lot from a person who's not only driving women empowerment in India at a large scale, but is also thinking about their development, about their social responsibilities from time to time. So there is an element of innovation in the work she does. So if it is about labor pattern, if it about control over their resources, if it is about their decision making, and more so in COVID times, she is steering this entire process with her efforts, and we will be happy to join hands with you, Shaluji, as and when required. So without further ado, we would like to have this discussion with you, and for the discussions, I would request you to say a few words to the students, to everybody here, because this gathering is not only students but also the faculty members, also the senior bureaucrats of Orissa and other states, and people from other states like Goa, Maharashtra have also joined here. So it is, I can tell you that this is a national meeting that we are going to have, a national conversation that we are going to have, and this effect is going to last for a long time. So a few words from you before we start.
Namaskar, Charudatta ji. Thank you so much for giving me such a wonderful, epic, kind introduction. I would also take this opportunity to thank all the students and itself, all the senior bureaucrats of Odisha, Goa, Maharashtra, all the friends and family who have joined in today to listen to our interaction. So my heartfelt thanks to all of you. And I'm really looking forward to this discussion where I'll be able to share my thoughts on the development for global peace and impact on rural
Your
women.
computer has virus.
Forward to that. Thank
Thank you, Shaluji. Let us start this discussion. Once again, I'll just take half a minute to request everyone to please mute yourselves. Barring me and Shaluji, I would request everyone to please mute yourself first. My request once again. I would request Kapila sir to please mute everyone. You're the host, so you can mute everyone.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Can we start now? Are we ready to go? I think we should, because in the interest of time, I think we should start. Now, people are telling me,
Your
Kapila sir,
computer has virus.
mute everyone.
Jumping bombs.
Yeah, I think we are good to go now. Shaluji, we know what you're doing. We know the scale at which you're doing, and we always know that wherever you're probably one in this country, one among the first, among the leading in this country, who would always like to do something on that particular issue. Now, we also know that you are again among the few in this country who would like to bring art and culture to development. So you are looking at a blend of social development with individual development. Now, where did this thought come from? How did you get oriented into this?
So I'd just like to share with all the viewers that from very early on in my life, I had a realization that I must use my privileged position to make a larger impact. My interest in education, the arts, culture, and gender equality have led me to work in my personal capacity and with the JSPL Foundation to work. I've been muted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shall I continue now or?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So, like I was saying that, you know, my interest in education, the arts, the culture, as well as, you know, gender equality have led me to work in my personal capacity and with the JSPL Foundation to set up projects to fight infant mortality, build nutrition and
Fuck you. Make it clearer.
as well as provide clean drinking water, different farming opportunities, training the tribal youth in a range of professional skills. So all the projects that we have worked with have grown over the years and have had a positive impact. Empowering women, especially rural women, and teaching them skills to make them economically independent is very important to me. At the same time, I, as a mother, realize how important love and affection is for a child, especially with special needs. We at JSPL Foundation run a successful
Your
program
mom has special needs.
in which I'm personally involved. Indian traditions, knowledge, customs, we have to preserve and promote these. So at JSPL Foundation, we encourage and support tribal arts and crafts, music, and dance. Tapping talent in professional games and sports, especially the rural tribal youth, has been very successful, as most of our initiatives have been as well. I also believe that children need to dream, and they need to dream big and to dream impossible. So we have many leadership programs in various states across India where we create and recognize leaders so that they can further be trained to teach those skills and empower a future generation of leaders.
Thank you so much. And needless to say, this is so overwhelming because you're looking at the entirety of development, and that's exactly what we're looking at in nation building. uh, what India is looking ahead at these difficult times. And I really appreciate and kudos to your energy levels and your innovations and your vision. The vision that you just mentioned, about thinking big, about having youth
Big like
get
my dick.
into an area of innovations, area of high energy growth, area of all-round development is really commendable, and kudos to your efforts. Do you think, in this perspective, do you think that uh, economic development or economic independence is going to give that much spoken about, much thought about socio-economic development of women? Because if you ask me, we believe that women are the fulcrum of this society. They're the pivotal. If a mother is educated, then all the children and a few generations are educated. If a mother is working, a few generations are liberated. So what's your thought on this economic development leading to socio-economic development? A few thoughts, reflections.
Charudatta ji, I absolutely agree with what you just said. And I also believe that empowering women economically will not only enable them to sustain their own livelihoods, but will also allow them to be less dependent on their husbands. This means that they are more likely to overcome things like domestic violence and disrespect from family and society. The involvement of women in businesses, in boardrooms, in councils,
Shut the fuck up, man. Go make me some roti.
higher returns, and broader impact. I also believe that women can make a huge contribution in all aspects of development, provided they are given equal opportunities. But along with economic empowerment, I think it's very important to also think about the holistic development of women. For me, the first priority, the topmost priority is their health. Anemia, low BMI, child, maternal mortality rate, poor hygienic awareness are the major concerns. Secondly, workload reduction, from which I mean that the sharing of the workload between the men and women is very important. My third priority would be the girl child education, like you rightly mentioned, that is most important, both formally as well as skill related. And last but not the least, I believe income generation is very, very important for the holistic development of women. This can be done by organizing self help groups and creating job opportunities, for instance, BPOs, etc.
That's very pertinent because Central University of Orissa in Koraput and FIDR across India, they've been working with the various communities in a approach which is almost a childhood to a livelihood kind of an approach, so which entails a comprehensive development, as you rightly mentioned, the holistic development. And even more relevant is where we are talking today. The Central University of Orissa is now in Koraput. Now, Koraput is, we always say Koraput is a wonderland because of resources, because of people, because of PVTGs, because of the nature, because of the beauty, tourism, coffee, agriculture. It's a land of plenty. Now, we have Central University of Orissa in Koraput. So, what do you think when Koraput is such a place where you have a high proportion of you know, tribal families, tribal households? Koraput is also a place where, which is known as the Sabarik Kshetra of Jagannath, Lord Jagannath, and we all know that you've been a committed devotee of the Lord. So taking everything into uh, uh, aspect, what do you think? How the students of the university should get themselves involved in the community's work? What is their link to the community? Often we found that the next generation should be rooted, should be rooted to the communities, should do something for the communities before they leave out to the next orbit in their career. So what's your thought and take on this?
So I believe in Koraput, the tribals live in hamlets. So students in their off-campus programs can adopt each hamlet and impart informal education to the young and adults. At the same time, they can also ensure that there is 100% enrollment of the girl child in schools. This is very, very important. And the university can also play a very major role in exposing the tribal youth to IT and other facilities that the university has. I also think I've been told that Koraput has a high potential of horticulture produce. So the women, the tribal women can be trained in agro processing through which they can, earn an income as well as it will help in their self-development as well.
In fact, we have had what you just mentioned is very relevant, because we have had discussions with the vice chancellor, our sir Professor Ram Brahmam, and the team with Professor Durga Prasad also, of having programs. We can call them satellite programs, or having programs across the district or the periphery, where the students can get involved, not only in terms of internship, but also short to medium term programs where they could go interact with the communities, have communication programs, or have, as you mentioned, digital literacy programs or entrepreneurship programs, women entrepreneurship programs, and see to it that the horticulture gets value for the produce. The farmers get value for the produce, because most of the farmers are small and marginal. So the land holding should be around a hectare maximum, much below that. So we have to also see how to maximize the produce that they get, and look at areas which will give enhanced income to the households. Thank you for that response. And do you think the next thing that I always wanted to ask you, and I've also asked you in the past, but I'd like everyone to listen to this from you. This is very powerful. The element of art and culture in development. This is an angle which you bring so differently to youth building, to women empowerment, to women in giving voice to their thinking and building up their stature in the society. So that speaks so much about gender equality. That speaks so much about life skills, soft skills. What's your thought on this? I mean, why, where did you think about this, and what has been your motivation on this?
So I agree again with you, Charudatta ji. Art and culture, I believe, allow women to explore their creative sides as well as sometimes earn a living through it as well. Women use the arts to heal and empower themselves and others while spreading their message of
Oh,
strength.
shut up, fam! Oh.
Arts are a powerful medium to express, be it through writing poetry or a cinematic commentary on issues that affect women, or through penning memoirs, also through academia and education. Visual and performing arts, I believe, can address development issues such as um, ending violence against women, women's empowerment issues, and as well as women's leadership issues. Art and culture gives women their unique voices and stories, the freedom to express, the ability to heal, and the positive thrust that is required to inspire and implement change.
Thank you. I remember that you've been recognizing champions from across India, from all over uh, the place, from different states, for their contribution in the field of art and culture. And how far has that percolated to the various communities and helped that in bringing about a cascading effect of art and culture on the communities?
So we have honored and celebrated the dedication and service of several women change makers. With the JSPL Foundation initiated the Rashtriya Swayamsid Samman Awards. Each of their journeys has changed me as a person. And these women have shown me the hues and colors of selflessness, of respect, of humility, and the power within each one of us to bring about a bigger change if we just believe in ourselves. One of our Rashtriya Swayamsid awardees, Dr. Edisari, she left Kerala and set up Swasthya Swaraj in Kalahandi in Odisha to provide medical services to the poor. And this is one of the poorest and the most drought-ridden districts in our country. So she gave up everything and she's dedicated her life to this. At the same time, there's another awardee, Dr. Kirti Bharti from Rajasthan, who's not only an inspiration for other women, but for myself as well. She has single-handedly fought the biggest social evils of child marriage. She has annulled 40 child marriages and stopped around 1,200 of them despite death threats. Subhasini Mistry ji, another of our awardee, she was a domestic worker and she, against all odds, constructed a hospital for the poor and the underprivileged. And after she won the RSS award, the Rashtriya Swayamsid award, she was actually awarded the Padma Shri as well by the government of India. So we are honored that, we are able to, be able to contribute to nation building by honoring these change makers. And in the same way, we are inspiring as well as getting inspired to do the best that we can, just like they do selflessly.
This is so inspirational, Shaluji. This is so inspirational. I think we should see a few pictures of what you do on the ground. So, Professor Kapila, I would request you to please show up those pictures on the screen. Could you please show up those pictures? I think it will be good for all of us to see the pictures and get the energy of what's being done on the ground and involving everyone from the community. So it's not only developing a few in the community, it is about the total development of the community, total development of the area, whether it's a panchayat or a village or a community. And the students should know the efforts.
Sorry to interrupt, Charudatta ji. Maybe we can come back to the pictures later because maybe they're not able to put it live on the webinar right now.
Yeah, sure. Next, of course, we've discussed about your interest, the work that's being done, the impact. How do you see what's the next step? How do you see nation building happening in these difficult times? Of course, we'll surmount these times, and of course, there'll be better times. We are all working towards it. The entire country is in an unprecedented solidarity. Also, in unprecedented times, we have unprecedented solidarity, and we will overcome this. But what would be your message for the youth? We are the youngest country in the world. We have the demographic dividend. We have all the advantages of the youth. And today we are talking in the portals of a central university of Government of India. So what's your thought on this, and what's the message that you would leave for the youth? Because you've done it, you've done it, you're doing it, you're an icon. So what's that message from the national icon who's working so much for the women empowerment of this country? A few words, please.
Thank you so much for, saying such amazing and kind words about the work that we are doing at the JSPL Foundation. So my message to the youth would be that it's very important to face these times with resilience and endurance. Endurance means that we look at any situation, any inconvenience cheerfully. So we must be patient, we must be resilient, and at the same time, we must practice physical distancing. Because in these COVIDian times, it's very important to take all the precautions. We must wear a mask, we must wear gloves when we go out. We must practice physical distancing wherever possible. I know sometimes it's not possible when everyone is living together in one house, in a room. It's very difficult to practice physical distancing at that time, but one can keep on washing their hands, one can keep hygiene paramount important in one's life. So in COVIDian times, this would be my message and my request to everyone. At the same time, I would like to share a few projects at the JSPL Foundation that we are doing. So all our programs are inclusive, they are need-based, and they are with a 360-degree approach. We have tried to encompass all sections of women and men in our programs, but particularly because today's topic is about development of women in rural India, I would like to say that our development programs in healthcare, education, sustainable livelihood, arts, culture, sports, agriculture are all targeted towards the empowerment of women, especially the rural women. We have provided safe drinking water to around 1 million women across the states of Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and Jharkhand. This water has been provided through deep tube wells, through overhead tanks, through water ATMs, as well as chilled mobile water drinking vans, which have been provided in all these states. We also have a program called the Vatsalya program, which has been very successful in reducing the MMR and IMR. At the same time, we provide scholarships for the education of the girl child in all the states that we are operating in. Aparajita is again a skill development initiative by the O.P. Jindal Community College, which gives masonry training for women. Now, this masonry training was only for the domain of men, but now even the women are coming, and getting trained in masonry. The Kishori Express program is eliminated anemia in around 1 lakh adolescent girls and also empowered them with skills and personal hygiene by providing them with sanitary napkins. So Dashi, it's a unit for manufacturing sanitary napkins. It is run by self-help groups, which the JSPL Foundation has organized, and it helps them in income generation. At the same time, I would like to share that JSPL Foundation has promoted 1,200 micro enterprises run by women, and it involves around 14,000 women in self-help groups. When it comes to sports and games, I would like to share that tribal girls have also won many international gold and silver medals in martial arts.
So this is not only inspiring, but this is awesome in the sense we are all awestruck, and I think the students here are, in fact, all of us are so fortunate to have heard about your programs. And after hearing all this, I could only say I'm trying to share some of the pictures I could retrieve on my system. I'm sharing them on the screen. I could only say if there will be, if we had more Shalus in this country, I could end with that. And since there's a paucity of time, we started late. I don't think we'd have much time for question answers, but if there are a few thoughts, probably we could take 1 or 2 thoughts. We could bounce off you from this group. So I would request anyone who's interested to share a few thoughts. We could probably take that, but we don't have time for elaborate question answer sessions now.
Charudatta ji, before we start the question answer session, I would just like to share a few thoughts which I would like to speak directly with with the youth of our country.
Sure,
I
absolutely.
just want to share that I hope that today's interaction and the remarkable achievements of women that you've all heard about, especially rural women, will inspire each of us. I hope their challenges are able to ignite a spark within each of you to go beyond your daily challenges, to be better people, and contribute in a much larger way to the world around you. I hope that today brings about the moments of learning and change within each of us so that together we can make this world a better place to live in. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
That's a wonderful message, and that's probably setting the tone for the new India we are looking at, and for the new India with icons like you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shaluji.
Thank you
A
so
few thoughts from uh, anyone in this house? Could we have a few thoughts? I think you can unmute yourself and speak us.
On behalf of the Assembly I
Anyone, please? Hello?
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is Akshay Raut. Hi, Shaluji.
Hi.
Yeah, this country is undergoing, the whole world is undergoing the terrible experience called COVID-19. And goes without saying that large parts of the population are very severely affected in many ways. And you are focused on the issues of development relating to women, and very caring and very nurturing thoughts on issues of women that were spoken about, and a lot of it we know already. So have you given your thoughts to what's going to be the predicament, new predicament of women during and past COVID? And are you organizing some type of work around this? First, I think more important is what is the understanding of the new predicament for women in the context of the COVID crisis? Thanks.
Thank you so much for the question. So you're right, there is a predicament, for women in these COVID times as well, because in any kind of a lockdown situation, the women and men, and in fact, the whole family is confined to home. So the women who were generating income for their families as well as for themselves, they have not really been able to go out and maybe, earn their incomes through self-help groups which had been organized, and so it's difficult for them. But I must share with you, at JSPL Foundation, through our self-help groups, we've had women come, and they are actually manufacturing masks for everyone, as well as they are selling these masks in the market and earning an income through it. So even in adversity, they have been able to find a way to generate income with the help of the initiatives of the foundation. And we're also, we had a very successful eco spa, a self-help group in which we make soaps and many different kinds of products related to spa and ecology, organic products. So now we have switched to making hand sanitizers. So like this, we all have to change our way of thinking. We have to find new ways to generate income, to make sure that the women are empowered, whether it's at home or it's outside. And I'd also like to share with you that in these COVIDian times, because there are a lot of migrant workers, there are a lot of daily wage workers. So the JSPL Foundation has come forward and collaborated with various NGOs who are distributing free meals, to these daily wage workers, as well as our own foundation. We have a zero hunger initiative in which we are providing meals to whoever requires meals in all the areas of our operation. So these meals have been provided, and I think we've already crossed maybe more than 10,000 or 50,000 meals, or maybe more than 1 lakh. I'm not sure of the exact numbers, but we have been doing this continuously since the pandemic started in India. So this is what we are trying to do. At the same time, in our hospitals and health centers, we have demarcated ICUs and ventilators, and more than 100 beds facility has been demarcated only for corona cases. So especially in Raigad, Chhattisgarh, in the Jindal Fortis Hospital, we have done that. And in all the other areas of operation, we are doing the best that we can to provide all help to the medical staff that is working in our townships, as well as provide all kinds of equipments, whatever is required. We are there for everyone. This is our duty to help everybody in this really difficult times of adversity because of the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Shalaji. I think I've got a message from Siddharth of FIDR. He wants to thank you for bringing in the women empowerment narrative to a national podium. So Siddharth, you want to say something on this? Siddharth is CEO of FIDR. I see your message here.
Yeah, thank you, Charles. I just want to thank Salu ma'am for the great work she's doing. I just have one question that, in this time of COVID, when for the social development sector, when all the fundings are now being diverted towards COVID, what do you think is the future of all the programs that we were doing for women empowerment and for the advancement of women in entrepreneurship? Will it be affected because of the diversion of the funds?
I believe that this too shall pass. So yes, right now we are suffering a pandemic in our country, but I'm sure within a few months, there will be a vaccine, and or we will find some kind of a cure for this disease. Scientists all over the world are working for it. So this too shall pass. And then, the economic women empowerment programs, whatever we have initiated in our foundation, it's going to carry on, maybe in a bigger and better way. And maybe, we are going to add many more other things to it as well, because, now we know that a pandemic can happen anytime. So we have to be better prepared in the future than what we are right now. So along with initiatives that have already been initiated, we are going to add more initiatives to the programs of the foundation and work for women and men, both empowerment. At the same time, I would like to say that as of now, we are really trying to do our best in whichever way we can to help the people of Odisha, to help the people of Chhattisgarh, as well as Jharkhand, which are our areas of operation. So the JSPL as a company, as well as the JSPL Foundation, we are always there and contributing to the holistic and sustainable development of people, the underprivileged, throughout these 3 states.
Thank you, Shalaji. Now I would request our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ramramanji, to say a few words, because when the meeting started, we couldn't hear you. And I can also see Professor Durga Prasad trying to say something. So please.
Yeah. Thank you, madam. We would like to greet you for the unique work that you are doing. On behalf of the students, I have a question. Please tell us what strategy you are following in developing leadership amongst poor women, so that they can bargain for the entitlements which are due from the state to the community.
I mentioned before, at the JSPL Foundation, all our programs are inclusive. need-based, and have a 360-degree project approach. So we educate these women if there are any initiatives, where they can get the help of the state to advance, their income generation as well as in the economic development. For example, we have a WADI program for the tribal livelihood, where in collaboration with NABARD, we are actually, find that the tribal women are the prime movers in this program when it comes to orchard development, vegetable cultivation, mushroom farming, eco-spa. So these women come forward and they benefit hugely, with the collaboration from the foundation and the government collaboration. At the same time, I also feel that we at JSPL Foundation, working with thousands of tribal women in our areas of operation, our experience working with these women has been very satisfactory, because we believe that tribal women are empowered women because of their traditions and culture. They have independent access to their own income, and tribal men, we have discovered, are relatively less demanding. We also generally we have seen that in tribal belts, the preference of a male child is not there so much, and they also have a free choice of who they want to get married to, especially, for instance, widow marriage, etc. So because of the liberal social ambience, it has been easy for the JSPL Foundation to work with the tribal women, as well as help them, get collaborations from the government agencies.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
so
much. In fact, on this, I could tell you something very candidly on a lighter note. When we talk to senior people who are the chairpersons of foundations, we usually see that they read out from a piece of paper or they come prepared. It is such a different and such a pleasure to listen to you extempore, and that's purely because you've got a complete grip on the programs that you do, and you're
Thank you.
completely involved. Our sincerest gratitude for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very grateful. Thank you.
Now I would request Professor Ramrama, Vice Chancellor, say a few words. And we could come to the end of the meeting then.
Yes. It's very, very interesting talk by Shaluji, and then I must thank Charadatta and Professor Durga Prasad for the excellent organization of this talk for the students of the Central University of Orissa. I'm looking at it from a student of education and education policy. One has to look at empowerment in the long run through education only. So we have a department here of education, and it is looking for a tie-up with a school to test the skills of the trained teachers of 2-year B.Ed here. In case the Jindal Foundation is thinking of establishing a good school, it can also include Central University of Koraput in its areas of interest, so that the students can teach the tribal children, because largely they are branded as slow learners. I don't know the actual situation obtaining. I just took over as Vice Chancellor recently. I'm yet to get grip over the entire area as such and an understanding of the learning patterns in this area. However, the foundation can think in collaboration with Dr. Charu and others here to think of a school which can give them such skills, especially post-pandemic situation, which can, make them withstand many problems that are arising around there. We can also have an alternative pedagogy, which is not strictly as a regimentation exercise prescribed by either state government or central governments, but we can think of alternative pedagogy for those who are excluded from the mainstream of education as such there. But I thank you for accepting our invitation and addressing our student, and I thank Dr. Charadatta Panigraji for facilitating this, and Dr. Kapila Khemunda, head of the Department of Sociology, and Professor Durga Prasad, and my technical team here for making it a success there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we will, in fact, take this discussion forward and see what JSPL Foundation can look at development, holistic development in Koraput, including the children's education. Thank you so much, Ali.
Thank you so much,
Prashant ji, and the entire team, Maitri, everyone, for making this happen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.